Section 11 of The American Diary of a Japanese Girl. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Kristen Hand. The American Diary of a Japanese Girl by Yone Noguchi. In America, Part 9. 15th. Night has arrived. Only 10 minutes ago, a white-capped Jim, I overheard people calling him so, lighted a paper lantern labeled tamales. He is an eating stand keeper across the street. The loafers passed. There was some time to watch the lazy parade. It was a blank hour of Saturday when he could puff a whiff of smoke. The prankish songs ceased. Even in DuPont Street, I am given a page of dream. The barkeeper of Remember the Maine called at my store. Remember the Maine? It is a name cheap as the grimness of a toothless woman. Mr. Barkeeper had something to say, I imagined. I offered a stem of cigarette. Do you ever hear a bloody cry at night? He began his chapter, gathering a medley of gravity on his brow. Scream? No. Never mind. He turned aside. I thought he was playing a threadbare artifice of a storyteller to tantalize my fancy. Tell me why. I knew I became his victim. I fear I do scare you. No, I never. I leaned forward. To begin with. He stopped, looking around. Your kitchen, don't be scared, is close by a haunted room of a house on Pine Street. It's no story. A chorus girl lived, some 5 years ago in that house with her stepmother. Just think. The old hen of 65 fell in love with her daughter's lover. Do you understand? She saw one morning the young fellow kissing her daughter. She went crazy. She shot him. Isn't it awful? The murderess leaned against the wall by your kitchen and cried, I killed him. I swear to you that it is all true. So, people say, a wail is heard at night from your side. Ma, I breathed. That is all. He retired heavily. Do I believe it? No, I denied. But I was thickly swarmed by sickening air. How could I trust to be in the kitchen? I closed the store. I pasted up a piece of paper whereon was written, No business tonight. 16th. I had a stomach ache this morning. I couldn't rise. The maid fetched me some toast and a cup of coffee. I think it is very nice to eat in bed. 17th. Mrs. Wistaria and her husband returned from San Jose. She lavished on me her 1,000 arigatos. She said I sold 60% more than on any previous week. She wished me to condescend to accept a meager $15 as a share of the profits. I refused it. 18th. My letter to Miss Pineleaf, who wept with me reading Keats's love letters one mournful night, is as follows. Matsuba-san, Hitofood Mirase Soro. I have the honor to present a brief writing. Let me omit the shop-worn form of Japanese letter writing. Its redundant honorables are more cheap than honorable. Sate Toya. Shall I begin my letter with a deep bow? Bow? I use it occasionally before American-san for sport's sake, but it is degenerating, in my opinion, to comic opera, like the tortoise-shell-framed spectacles of a Chinese doctor. Now I address you with 1,000 kisses. The kiss is the thing to begin with for up-to-date girls. It is useful, as a poem is useful in filling up space in magazine making. Woman, even a loftily learned American woman, cannot be ready always with her rhetoric of expression. The kiss comes to her relief in the crisis whenever she fails in speech. The kiss is everything. The Jap girl is intimate with the art of crying. A kiss is as eloquent as a tear. I suppose the cleverness of American woman is graded by the way she handles it. It strikes me that every white girl is perfectly at home with it. She is awfully bright. You wonder why she is so? There is one reason that I can tell you. It is because she has a serious job to pick out her husband herself. I don't think it is fair to blame her growing insipid after marriage. Everyone feels tired when a weighty work is done. What would be her doom if she were stupid? An old maid is such a sad sight, like a broken clock, or a cradle after baby's death. Isn't it dreadful to have nothing to rejoice in but a customary tea or books? Literary critic is one occupation left for her, worse than death. I am pained to state that our Brown sisters are extremely behind time. There are lots of exceptions, of course, like Honorable U and Miss M.G. I am talking of common Jap Masumis. Naturally so. They are like those waiting at the station for the next train. They have only to doze and wait for the footsteps of a matchmaker with a young man. I am grateful to the Nippon government for stimulating education in women. But I advise her to imprison all the matchmakers. Then the girls will wake up at once, like one who has everything on her back after Papa's passing. That is one process to brighten them, I think. Am I not logical? Your last Tagami questioned me whether the American lady was charming. Are you attentive to Western sea painting? How does it impress you when you are close by? Only a jumble of paint, isn't it? So with American women. You should be off half a dozen steps to estimate her beautiful captivation. You would be horrified otherwise by her hairy skin. I love her. She has no headache like the Japs. By the way, I will call Japan hereafter the country of headache. She lives in a comedy. Nothing turns bad in America. Tragedy to be a woman could only be seen on fiction thrown in moth-trodden second-hand store. Police never bother. Such a deliverance. I am delighted with my American Kenbutsu. Sayonara. Yours, Morning Glory. 19th. I forced Uncle to swear to me that he would overlook everything I did in consideration of my great service in darning his socks. I peeled off my shoes to begin with. I sat like a Turk. Why do you frown like an oni in hell? I acidified my smile. I held my needle and thread suspended in the air while I said, What is a trust? Be quiet, he exclaimed. He didn't even glance at me, being engaged in writing in the other nook. Uncle, your hair ought to be curled. I will step in tomorrow morning and turn it up before you awake. What do you think, Uncle? Oji-san. Morning Glory-san. He emitted a growl of satanic despotism and soon resumed his work gracefully. I thought what a scandal if he were penning a love letter to Mrs. Schuyler, Jr. I rose. I approached him with secret step. I fell on him from his massy back and cried, What are you scribbling? Eri, my honorable uncle. He was translating Gibbon's History of Rome. I was stunned from the shame of taking him to be in such a wretched line even in fancy. I vowed to myself, with 3 low bows, to take perfect care of my noble worker. Then I gave him my sweet smile. Uncle, let me fix something more. Haven't you anything? Tear your shirt or pull off the buttons then. 20th. Already I could suck from the agile air the flavor of spring upon the lawn. I was roving by the rose bushes along the street with scissors. A gentleman passed by me. How sluggish his shoes sounded. He stopped, waving his old scented smile, and addressed me. Good morning, young lady. Ohio. I perceive that you are Japanese. Yes, sir. He stepped nearer to me. I took a peep at the Bible under his arm. Are you a Christian? He lowered his tone. Don't you read the gospel? His voice rose higher. Don't you attend church? His sound grew higher still. I loved to be shocked. I couldn't sustain myself against a bore. Church? It's too sleepy, don't you know? I have remarked that God is with me without any sort of prayer, if I trace the path of righteousness. A minister is only a meddling grandmamma to my mind. If I ever build my ideal city, 2 things shall not be tolerated. One is a lawyer's office, and the other is a church. Church, sir. May I present you with 1 rose? I raised me to place it in his coat. Here's a letter for you, Morning Glory. I was rescued by my uncle. How angelic his voice rang. I'm sorry, I'm much occupied this very morning, I said, bowing slightly. I pushed myself within the door. Poor preacher. 21st. My answer to Oscar is as follows. Dear Honorable Mr. Ellis, let me begin in respectable fashion. A Jap girl is awfully formal. Do you know, Mr. Ellis, whom you are addressing? I am an Oriental. Nippon daughters believe everything a gentleman mentions. They have been fooled enough, I should declare, in American fiction. Oscar, no, Mr. Ellis, don't let me earn the anecdote that I drifted to America to be toyed with. My ancestor did a harakiri. I am pretty sure I have then to kill myself. Don't recite again your honorable confession of love. It made me cry. My dark face with drenched eyes will degrade me to a hired Chinese crying woman. Your narration was dramatic. Your cleverness is the most lamentable thing about you. Women used to love a bright fellow many years ago. Do you know that the modern girl woos a stupid man? Please don't repeat again such an adjective as heavenly for my face. No one utters the word heaven except in swearing. Even ministers jiggle with it for a jest in church, I suppose. My face isn't heavenly at all. You know it, don't you? You amused me, however, when you told how you had pillaged my picture from Mother Schuyler's room to put in your own, feigning that it needed to be retouched. Poor Mother Schuyler! If she knew your secret. Frankly, I fear that such a gentleman as you does commit forgery always. Have you no consanguinity with a convict? Oh, such a wretched boy. The saddest thing about a woman is that she is glad to fall in love with the worthless. Do I love you? Give me time to reply to the question. Everything is tardy with the Japanese. I was educated by slowness. I bow 12 times before I speak. Oh, Oscar, you got to think of my side a little bit. Every girl claims that she has half a population as adorers in her pocket handkerchief. You are the only one young American I ever met. If I accept your love, I am afraid one may satirize my destitution. You'll write me soon, won't you? Yours, M.G. P.S. I wish I could show you how charmingly I smoke. I learned the art recently. I tap the cigarette with my middle finger to knock the ashes off. It is delightful to heap a hill of ashes on the table edge. When I puff, finding no word after "and," the smoke seems to be speaking for me. But I assure you that I smoked only before my uncle. I was a pretty naughty girl at home, but I flatter myself that I can easily be classed among the best in this country. White women behave terribly, you know. 22nd. I passed the afternoon at Mrs. Consol's. She gave me her favorite discourse on Walt Whitman. I delivered to my uncle what I had learned. No newness in it. It is what dear John Burroughs or Mr. Stedman said. He overturned my castle with one blow, and lit his cigar with a victorious air. I was enraged. Yes, yes, Eriwa. Oriental gentleman knows everything we poor women know, I said. I sulkily drew away to my room with Mr. Whitman's fat book that I borrowed from Mrs. Console. 23rd. A letter from my father arrived. Oh, Papa, please don't. I am tired of such a dirty conference, I scoffed. I tore the paper into shreds. What a sullen lady! What did Otto-san write? Marriage proposal, I reckon, my uncle intruded. Papa threatened me with a list of suitors. He cried, "Chance, chance," like the gate man of an Anichi show. Pray grant me, for once in my life, uncle, to say, the marriage lottery go to the dogs. How many Jap girls kill themselves from the burden of such a glued union, do you suppose? Then free marriage? Of course. It is very beautiful, Miss Morningglory. Why not? You are Japanese, aren't you? Did you ever think I was American, Jin? Well then, how did you come to know young men in a country where familiarity with one is regarded as a crime for a girl? Things all wrong in Nippon, uncle. I am sorry you were born a Jap. I'll never go back to Japan, I think. The dictionary for Jap girls comprises no such word as no. But you must remember, uncle, I have the capital No in my head. I am a revolutionist, I proclaimed. Then I thought much of my dear Oscar. 24th. My worthy laborer upon Gibbon's work sat before the table for some hours. I stood behind him and dropped the fluid from a bottle on his head. Cold! What are you doing, my little romp? He looked up in fright. No harm, uncle. It is only a remedy. Your hair is growing so thin. Do you know it? I think it a shame to appear in Greater New York with a bald gentleman. I bought the bottle this morning. End of section 11.